I will be using the beads from my Jesse James Bead Design Ambassador Kit from December 2021. Hello everyone, it's Melissa, and on today's video, we will be creating this necklace featuring the new Pantone color by Jesse James Beads in Spring Lake. For today's project, we will be using the following beads from Jesse James Beads: the Ice Cream Collection in Vanilla Bean, the Mini Mix in Earl Grey, Save the Date Pendant, a Drop of Sparkle, and a new Pantone color strand in Spring Lake. We'll need our beading tools, eye pins, beading wire, and jump rings. Go ahead and gather your supplies and we'll be right back. Additionally, if you would like to use some of your extra beads from the projects before, I will be using some of the beads that are going to fit into this color scheme from the Jesse James Beads Winter Workshop a few weeks ago. And they're just going to blend in perfectly with that Spring Lake color. First, I'm going to work on the pendant, or the focal first. So we're going to need the Save the Date Drop of Sparkle pendant. We're going to go ahead and grab our pendant. Now on the top of the pendant, do pay attention to how the little jump ring is on top. If we were to add this straight to the eye pin, it's going to lay crooked. So we're going to go ahead and have to attach a jump ring to the pendant and then to the eye pin. Now when opening up jump rings, remember to twist side to side, not to pull them apart. You don't want to damage your jump ring and make it oval. Go ahead and slide on your pendant onto the jump ring, slide your eye pin then onto the jump ring, and go ahead and give it a close. Make sure it is completely closed so it doesn't fall off. And then we can go ahead and design on our eye pin the beads of our choice. For the strand for Spring Lake, this is an absolutely beautiful strand, and there's so many focal beads that can be used. These two bohos here, I'm going to go ahead and pull out and replace them with a clear pave crystal bead just to add that touch of sparkle onto the necklace. This focal bead here is going to go onto the eye pin with maybe a few of the smaller beads. For today's project, I will be using the Bead-A-Lon beading wire. When you're ready to design, just go ahead and take your wire cutters and snip off the last bead on the strand. I'm going to keep these beads in the order they came in. And these ceramic beads have a very large hole, so I'm going to go ahead and add a crystal rondelle AB spacer in between just to act as a little bead bumper and also to pull in that pop of sparkle with the pendant. I'm going to add one on each side. And these are really nice because the bead caps are already attached to them. When we get to the little boho bead, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that to the side and add the crystal pave bead. And then we have this bead here for the center, and I'm just going to go ahead and string that onto my eye pin. And I'm just going to leave that off to the side because I may want to add a little bead on top. Pull that one aside, add the next pave bead in. So we have these two little smoky gray beads that I'm just going to go ahead and pull and put them either side of my boho bead just to give it a little bit more color. And then I'm just ready to add on some extra beads. Like we have some square AB crystals and then some of the little frosted colors. So just kind of play around with your design. There's no right or wrong. Just have fun with it. Once you have your necklace organized the way you would like it, we're going to go ahead and make a wrapped loop on our pendant focal, just so we can go ahead and string it. To make my wrapped loop, I will be using a one-step looper. You're going to go ahead and grab your eye pin or head pin. You're going to put it through the looper. Make sure that you don't put the bead through that first little jaw. Give it a little bit of room, and then just go ahead and squeeze, and it's going to make a perfect loop for you. And then just slowly release. And just like that, you've made a loop. Just go ahead and move your little clipping off to the side. And then we're just going to go ahead and make sure that that loop is completely closed. We're going to go ahead and add a jump ring onto it. And just like that, we have our focal. Now for the necklace, I'm going to make about a 20-inch necklace. I'm going to start in the center with the focal. So I'm just going to bead one side of my necklace, keeping the rest of the beading wire on the spool to act as a bead stopper. Just go ahead and string on your pendant and start stringing on your beads. Once you have strung your necklace to the desired length, now it is time to add the clasp. Go ahead and grab some crimp beads or crimp tubes and a clasp of your choice. I will be using a heart toggle. On one side of the beading wire, go ahead and string on a crimp bead or two. Depending on the weight of the necklace, this one's fairly heavy, so I just want to add 2 crimp beads just to support the weight. Pick one side of your clasp, string it on like you would a bead, come back with the beading wire, but not going through the toggle end, and just bead back through those 2 crimp beads or crimp tubes. Oops, my toggle got away from me. Just going through those 2 crimp tubes, and then move them back up almost to your clasp, but giving just a little bit of wiggle room. You don't want the crimp beads right up to the clasp because that's going to cause tension and cause it to break. Go ahead and grab your pliers, and there's 2 jaws on them. Go ahead and take the back jaw and just go ahead and give it a smash. And then come back around and just smash them together. That should give you a nice smashed bead. Now with the tail, you can go ahead and give it a snip, or just go ahead and string your tail back through the first or the last of the ending beads. And this just adds just a little bit of extra support. It's easier to do it on the first side than the second side. With a little bit of practice, you'll be a pro. String that on. Now we are ready to add the other end of our clasp. An important thing to note are these large hole beads or the ceramic beads. They tend to act out and just kind of stick off to the side and expose that hole there. So just make sure before you do crimp the rest of your necklace and fasten it down that they are behaving themselves and that the large hole beads are nestled perfectly between the rondelles or the beads surrounding it. And once they are all good, go ahead and finish off the other end of your necklace. Here is the completed necklace we have just made. With the new Pantone strand, Spring Lake by Jesse James beads, a mix of vanilla bean, and as well as Earl Grey mini mix. Love the colors of the blues to the crystal clears to that gray. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for future videos. Have a wonderful day.